Welcome to 10 Minutes with Tony Scott. Today's show is brought to you by Tommy Chicago's Pizza in Mendota Heights. Just off Highway 110 and Dodd Road, Tommy's a great place for lunch or dinner, and even better place to cater a team meal either in the restaurant or off-site. I'm a big fan of their Chicago-style deep dish pie. Later in the show, we'll do a trivia question. Today we packed 2 prizes into the trivia question, so stay tuned. Today, we are lucky to have 2 guests in our studio. Our first is arguably the most famous man in Minnesota hockey. This week, Jake Reynolds Sr. appeared in a video called the Hockey Helper Helmet. Jake, you were famous, but quite frankly, I think your son Jake Jr. was even better in that video. Where's Jake Jr. today?
We ran into an eligibility issue. Jake, while only a first-year Pee-wee, is ready right now for the college level. We've been working with our family advisors. They've been talking to lots of coaches. They said if he was a little bit older, he could actually play college hockey right now. So we're being very careful with the exposure as a result of the helmet, because the last thing we'd like to do is jeopardize Jake Jr.'s bright future in the game of hockey.
So let's talk a little bit about the helmet. A lot of the comments are that it's very intrusive for a parent to be able to mic in to a kid like that.
You know, that's crazy talk. If you know sports, and even the NFL, in any NFL game, there are a couple players with a little green dot on the back of their...
I saw the same dot on the back of the helmet.
Yeah, we put that on Jake Jr.'s helmet as well to remind him that he's the quarterback of his team. He actually wears jersey number 1, which is typically reserved for goaltenders, because he's QB1. He's the straw that stirs the drink on his hockey team. And so that green dot in an NFL scenario allows the coach to talk to the quarterback or talk to the middle linebacker, the on-ice or on-field leader. And so really this is no different than that. I'm just helping Jake achieve his leadership skills that he already has.
So, but the difference is those are coaches talking to the players in the NFL. This is a parent. You're a parent, and you're talking to your son.
And Jake does have a coach, but I think every parent out there knows, no one knows your kid and their skills better than you as a parent. So I'm really Jake's coach. We talk about this a lot. I'm the one, we both get a vote, I break ties, I'm the one that's his real coach. I tell him all the time, blood is thicker than a dry erase marker, and he knows precisely what that means.
Well, I appreciate you having just a couple minutes to join us on today's show. We appreciate it. Say hi to Jake Jr. if you'd
Jake
like
Jr.
as we close out here. We'll be back soon with another segment on 10 Minutes with Tony Scott. All right, let's roll up our sleeves and talk a little hockey. Last weekend was pretty light on the Tier 1 front. Number 1, Shattuck St. Mary's cruised at the U14 level, while number 1, Shattuck struggled to a 1-1-1 record and will fall from them number 1 at the U16 level. One player who has caught our eye lately is Spencer Knight from the number 2 Mid-Fairfield Junior Rangers at the U14 level. Knight impressed us so much last summer at the STX camp that he earned a scholarship offer from Boston College. Little Caesars U16 team won 6 games last weekend. They rose to number 2. Hayden Rowan is a nice player for Caesars. Kendrick Frost had 7 goals and 5 assists this past weekend for number 6 Omaha as they went 5-0 in Blaine. Frost is an impressive 6'4", 190-pound D-man from Kansas City. This weekend, we will see our first Pee Wee and Bantam action in Minnesota. To complement our Pee Wee AA Top 10, we will unveil our Bantam AA Top 10 as well. We will see lots of great Bantam games this weekend at the Centennial Preview. On Sunday, the 2 best Bantam teams in Minnesota, Minnetonka and Cloquet, will face off for the first time on Sunday. We will also keep an eye on the STX shootout at Notre Dame at the U14 level. Mid-Fairfield, Chicago Mission, and Shattuck will face off against some top teams from Canada this weekend. Second guest today, we are joined with John King, my partner in crime / co-creator of Game On. John, thanks for joining us. I thought we would do have a little fun in the studio introducing our viewers to the background of Game On and how eventually it got live last week. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
So what is Game On?
Game On is your home for unstructured play in the hockey state. And what we mean by that is it's a spot where we're always having fun. And it should have more in common with a Jimmy Fallon lip sync skit than it would a issue of the latest hockey magazine.
Or Youth Hockey Hub, for that matter.
Yeah, it's different than certainly what you're doing with Youth Hockey Hub or the high school hubs. It's not about rankings. It's not about coaching columns. It's not a picture from a tournament. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover the state. So it's a Minnesota play. And we've got really 6 different blogs. So Clear Boards will cover high school hockey. Stanley on 7th will be all about the Wild. 5D1 will cover the 5 Division I college teams in the state. The Ponytail Society will be women's hockey, but the interesting wrinkle there is it's going to be written exclusively by women for women. So everything we put on that site will be created by a female hockey player for female hockey players. Hand signals is kind of where our friend Jake would be. As a crazy hockey parent, and there's a lot of those out there. And then Blacktop Bar is kind of the hockey lifestyle. This is parents between periods grabbing a beer in the lot. This is Chucky Slick. This is just kind of anything that doesn't fit anyplace else, but we still want to do, we can put in Blacktop
Not to give
Bar.
away too much of our content, because it's all going to be released slowly but surely, but this would also be somewhere we might talk about beer league hockey as
Yep,
well.
beer league hockey, the guys playing at, I play at 9:50 on Wednesday nights, primetime ice for my skill level. But yeah, we'll cover it all. And I think the main thing we saw in the market together, you having kind of this regular hockey website that's very successful, is there's a ton of personality in this game. Hockey players are crazy. And for whatever reason, hockey media doesn't reflect that personality. You see it in some of the clothing brands like Gong Show, et cetera, but you just don't see it play out into your magazines, your websites, your newspapers. So we're hoping to be kind of that crazy uncle in the background of the picture, and be able to do some things other guys can't do.
So for me, it was an outlet to do something besides reporting, like you said, on squirts, peewees, bantams, high school, college commitments. This is a chance for me to kind of let my hair down and have some fun. And one of my first article, you'll get a chance to see that side of me that I'd like to express myself, which really doesn't play out well on YHH.
No, I think it's great, and we've worked together for a while in different outlets, but everything, sometimes we would make something and it just didn't feel like it had a home. It felt like an odd kind of piece that didn't fit in the family that we were posting it on. And I think one of the other interesting things with Game On is our approach is really different. We're not in the business of filling that space with content. It's going to be more, I like to tell people it's like a Christmas tree, and we're going to hang ornaments on it when they're ready. And over time, it'll be filled with a bunch of stuff, but we're not going to put something on there just because we feel like we have to.
We'll have videos, right?
Yep.
We have some vines coming up for our Twitter
Yep.
followers.
Vines, columns, regular columns with photography, artwork. But I think a rule that we've established together is anything we put on our site shouldn't be able to go anywhere else. It shouldn't fit in the hockey magazines that are already out there or the hockey websites that are already out there, even your own. It should only feel like it works on Game On because it's different.
So there's some sponsors on the site. We want to give a shout out to those guys. Talk about what bet that they made last week by like showing up and saying, yeah, we want to participate in this when it goes live on Thursday.
I think we're using a really old-fashioned sponsorship model. It's more like for the older people in the audience, when the Masters used to be on, they had only a handful of sponsors for that event and limited commercial interruptions. We're kind of doing the same thing. We're going to have season-long sponsorships with just a handful of brands, some of which you brought into the fold, some of which I've met with. And these guys essentially had to bet on something that was not proven. We didn't have the numbers. We had one, piece of video that we could show them and some logos, but they're basically buying the dream. And that's on my side, certainly Aspire, Warrior, all over media.
Lots of matzo pizza. We have lots more coming.
And I just love that they're up for it. They said, we don't know what this is going to be, but we think the world needs it. And they made a bet, and so we're going to take real good care of them through the season, make sure they get some exposure too.
I can't wait. We have another article, some other stuff coming out very soon. Each creation is aptly marked. Talk about that. Everyone, like last
Yeah.
week, the Hockey Helper was
Yeah,
number
I think
one.
it's a nice little, I think it was your idea, but we're trying to number things like an artist would. So each thing's kind of handcrafted. That doesn't mean it's fancy. Obviously, our production values
Very low.
will leave something to be desired. But I think each thing we put out there sort of has our name on it, so we want it to be something we like. We want it to be different. We want you guys to want to share it. So you'll notice each piece is kind of numbered like an artist would number his prints, I suppose.
Oh, we'll just see if it's art, if people actually want to see it.
Yeah, probably not.
So far, so good. 75,000 views on the Hockey Helmet Helper this week. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited really just to kick this thing off. And
Yeah, we're going to have some fun this year, and we'll see what we have.
okay, it's time to do some trivia. This week's trivia question is a throwback. I'm going to describe the single greatest line in high school hockey history in my lifetime. Any state, any era. These three amassed over 300 points in one season and had an undefeated regular season. All three went on to play for the Gophers and on to the NHL. The person who can name this line first will win a $20 gift card from Tommy Chicago's and our first ever Game On t-shirt. To win, you must follow Game On Twitter. You can find us on Twitter as Game On Minnesota, Minnesota spelled out. Simply go on our feed and tell us who this line is, and you are a winner. Boom roasted. This week's roast goes out to anyone who actually believed the H3 was a real product. This roast is for you. Thumbs up. A huge thumbs up to our first 5 marketing partners. All Over Media, Lots of Matzo Pizza, Aspire Beverage, Warrior Hockey, and Sport Engine. All of them took a huge chance on us on Game On. We really appreciate it. We promise we won't disappoint them or you as our readers over the next year. Thanks for tuning in today. I look forward to seeing you around the rink. Have a nice day.